Number 4 is getting an agent. If you don't have an agent, then getting an agent is going to open a lot of new doors. We're not going to go too far into depth today. We've done previous episodes about how to get an agent and how to approach them. In a nutshell, a referral is the best way. So find actors that you know who are represented by an agency that you're interested in and see if they can give you a soft intro via email is one of the best ways. Often the sites will have submission emails as well, although that's kind of like a cold call. So chances are that's going to be maybe unreturned, but who knows? Again, take all the swings you can get. So I would never tell someone, don't cold email an agent. Why not? Do it, and maybe you're the one person out of 1,000 that they answer a cold email and they like your stuff and you fit their roster, and all of a sudden that you're signed by them. But if you have an agent, so for all the actors out there who have an agent, I think a big part of getting regular auditions, you're only one client on your agent's roster, and they might have 50, they might have 80. So how are you going to remain in top of mind? They can't just, like, by the mental math, your agent is not going to be thinking about you all day long, every day, 7 days a week, 365. You're going to be thinking about your career every day, but they're not. So how do you get into top of mind with them? I think one of the ways is have regular communication, regular meetings. Again, you don't want to overdo this where you're hounding an agent every day being like, what's next? What's next? What's next? What's next? Like, you don't want to have that energy with them either. Like, you got to just trust them to go do their job. But having regular meetings, maybe every 6 months, maybe quarterly, regular communication, updating them when you update your training, when you update your resume, when you update your headshots, so that your agent always has front-facing best representation of you right now. So you can really help your agent out by doing that. But just by having that regular meeting of, okay, what are you submitting me for? Do you have all the materials you need? Are my marketing materials up to date? Is there anything that I haven't been submitting for that we could? Are there casting directors that don't know you in the region yet? So taking one of the best things to do is just take stock of all the casting directors that you have seen in your area, all the ones that you haven't seen in your area, and then after that, go beyond your area, go to other regions or even other countries. But look at the casting directors who haven't seen you, and then figure out a plan of attack. Like, how do I get seen? Maybe your agent needs to do a little bit of a push. So you put all your materials together, your headshots, your demo, your resume, and then the 5 casting directors that haven't seen you yet, your agent sends an email blast, or I would suggest an individual email, not a blast, but an actual campaign to be like, hey, want to introduce you to one of my star clients. Here's her stuff, his stuff. I think he'd be great for this show, and this show. And then next thing you know, you're being brought in by that casting director. Again, there's a time and a place for that. But if you've never had that meeting with your agent, you're probably due for one. So that's a card that you can play. Like, let's see who are all the people that need to know I exist in my market right now, and start getting into those rooms and being intentional about getting into those rooms. Let me see what else I could say about. I had a couple notes here about agents. I guess the other thing with your agents is just be reminding them about your goals too. Make sure your agent knows what you want, the type of work you want, the type of roles you want, what you actually aspire to, and make sure they know at all times what you're doing on your end as far as training. Like, agents and casting directors love actors who are constantly in class and constantly training and bettering themselves. So that's one of the best things that you can do, is just be letting your agent know that I'm in this class, I'm taking this class, I'm going back to this. Oh, by the way, here's new headshots. Oh, by the way, here's a new demo reel, sizzle reel, so that you're just giving them all the best things. And then what happens anytime I've ever had one of those meetings, it's like, whether it's a meeting with a casting director at a workshop or my agent, is right away there's an instant little uptick. There's a little spike and a boost, just because you're top of mind. They're thinking of you, and they can't always be thinking of all 80 people on the roster at any given time. So the more you have those little touch points, even if it's just sending a thank you email to them, they did get you in a room, and this applies to casting directors too. Send a thank you card, a thank you email, a thank you note, attend an industry event, and walk up to them and say, hey, just wanted to say how much I appreciate you. You gave me that opportunity to go in and audition for the show, and it was a dream come true, and I booked the role and changed my life. Like that's like, for a casting director or an agent, that's gold right there, is tell them how you changed their life. And they're like, oh, maybe I'll help this guy change his life even more. Anything you want to add about agent stuff?
One thing that I did add last year was a theme. I really enjoyed The Last Dance, and I really enjoyed how Phil Jackson would come up with themes for each year. And so my theme last year was "Be So Good They Can't Ignore You," and it was a fun thing to have. That it really bonded us. It really put me and my agents really together, and like we were all fighting for the same thing, and like we collectively knew what we wanted and what we were going for, and that was great. I really liked that, and I'm going to continue it this year.
Yeah, and there's a little bit of a theme here too, is team. It can be a very lone wolf career, and you're a solopreneur in a way, and an entrepreneur, but also so is your agent, and really so are casting directors. So if your agent is starting to feel a team vibe with you in a good way, that you're a strong team, and even in your email sign-offs, you've got your little slogan or your catchphrase or your little inside jokes with them, then they're going to start feeling like, oh, I'm on Team Brandon here, not just agency team, and I spend my time staring at a computer all day submitting actors who don't give a fuck about me. Like you want to be the relationship, like any relationship, is going to be mutual, right? So make sure that you have a good communication with your agent. You know what they need, they know what you need, and then it evolves too. So make sure that you're having those meetings every 3 months to 6 months.